Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Popular Decks. I'm your host Michael, and today we're going to be playing this really aggressive Rally the Peasants version of the Boros deck. So for those of you who are familiar with Pauper, you will have known this deck for, 10 years at least. This is a super old deck in the format. It's been around forever. It used to be one of my favorite decks to play. It was my third favorite deck back in the day after Teachings and Tortured Existence was this deck. So I'm going to quick go through the deck here. Just a reminder, if you like content like this and you want to see more of it, hit me with a like or a subscribe or both. Shoot me some comments if you want to see particular decks in the future, or if you have any suggestions on how to make my content better, or you just want to say hi. That's cool. I respond to most comments and I read them all. So I will see you there in the comment section. Let's get into the deck. So the main package in this deck is kind of, in the past was called the Kitty package. So it's named after Turbo Kitty 3000. I think 3000 is the number. Anyway, the strategy was pioneered by Turbo Kitty a long time ago, and so it became known as the Kitty package. And the core of the package is Glinthawk, which when it comes into play returns an artifact, and Core Skyfisher, when it comes into play returns any permanent. And in the past, it was Prophetic Prism and Ichor Wellspring. Now we've got Ichor Wellspring and Experimental Synthesizer. So both of these essentially draw a card when they come into play. And then we can play these efficient creatures, pick these back up, and get a lot of card draw going. Other value in the deck, we've got Thraben Inspector, just a value creature. Really efficient. Also works with Core Skyfisher, although it does not work with Glinthawk. And then after that, we've got two kind of creature sources here. We've got Kuldotha Rebirth, which can sacrifice an artifact to make 3/1/1s. So if we sacrifice Ichor Wellspring or Experimental Synthesizer, we get value, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that way. If we want to get really aggressive, we can sacrifice a land or a clue token or something like that. And then the Kuldotha Rebirth combos with Rally the Peasants. So Rally the Peasants pumps up our whole team. If you get a bunch of tokens out, you can deal a ton of damage all at once. We've got Seeker of the Way for another creature. Helps us race against the aggressive decks, puts us out of reach of burn, stuff like that. Speaking of burn, we've got a bunch of burn spells in Galvanic Blast and Lightning Bolt. Gives us a ton of reach and makes the deck really aggressive. You can just double Galvanic Blast someone on turn 3 or something and kill them some of the time. I mean, it's a lot of damage if you can get the full 4 out of it. Last but not least, in the main deck, we've got Makeshift Munitions. This card is totally bonkers. Allows you to just fireball your opponent to death towards the end of the game with a bunch of artifact lands. And you can sack your Ichor Wellsprings and Experimental Synthesizers for value. Any of your creatures that are targeted by removal. Really makes it hard for decks to stabilize against you when every mana you have can represent a damage late in the game. One thing I will note about the mana base is we're not playing. I'm playing. This is basically just a list from a recent challenge, and I think it was Janice Stone, who I trust to make good decks. So I've basically copied their list. One thing to note is that we've got a Lorehold Campus, and we do not have any indestructible tapped artifact lands. We've got Crags and the Campus instead. We've also got Boros Garrison, so I think that's interesting. Might give us some struggles turning on our Galvanic Blast, but we'll see if that bears out. In the sideboard, we've got Leave No Trace to beat up on the Bogles decks, Dust to Dust to exile those indestructible artifact lands I was just talking about, Gorilla Shaman to kill the non-indestructible artifact lands. We've got 5 blasts. This is one... the only difference I made from the original list had 3 Pyroblast and 2 Red Elemental Blast. I don't know if that's just an oversight or if that's a budget conscious decision or something, but Pyroblast is just strictly better than Red Elemental Blast, especially when you've got Seeker of the Way, which is a prowess card. So you might be used to these things being exactly the same, but Pyroblast can target things that are not blue, and it just doesn't do anything if they're not blue. Whereas Red Elemental Blast can only target things that are blue. So you can cast Pyroblast at any time as long as there are any permanents on the board. or any spells on the stack, whereas that's not the case with Red Elemental Blast. Normally that doesn't matter, but if you have Prowess, maybe you need 1 more damage from Prowess. It'd be nice to have a Pyroblast instead. Finally, we got Relic of Progenitus for the graveyard decks. I assume this is for stuff like Familiars and stuff like that. So I think that is it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the games. All right, here we are for round number 1. We are on the draw against Bullet Time. I got a pretty decent hand. I think I'm going to keep this. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to play on turn 1 because I'm not going to play out the Synthesizer right away. Probably just going to play out Plains and Seeker on turn 2 and then Experimental Synthesizer on turn 3. All right, we're going to start with the Campus. We're most likely playing against Burn, but we could be playing against a Boros deck with this Voldaren Epicure. I would say we don't have a super great Burn matchup, although if they're stuck on mana, then it is really good. I guess I'm going to run out the Seeker. I don't think there's realistically a way I can hold it to a place where I can protect it, because I'd really need 2 instant speed spells. So I guess I'm hoping they don't have a land, and they don't have a Lightning Bolt or a Chain Lightning. Okay. Seeker still eats up 3 damage, which is pretty good. Alright, I'm going to run out my Synthesizer here. So we're going to be trying to go fast, so there's a decent chance that I'm... Normally, so I was considering if I could also rebirth away my Synthesizer so I can try to get faster clock going. But gaining 1 life, I think, is worth it to get the Crag out there. Okay, my opponent found a second land here. They have an Alchemist, which is not great for me because I don't have any burn spells somehow. Let's go ahead and sacrifice our Synthesizer here. Looking for a burn spell, hopefully, to kill the Thermo Alchemist. We hit a Synthesizer. Boros Garrison I don't think is very necessary to play out. Yeah, I think I just play the makeshift munitions out. I'm gonna run out one of my artifact lands, so I can definitely have Metalcraft. Yeah, this is not great that I didn't hit any burn spells for this Thermo Alchemist. So I'm debating if I want to do the makeshift munitions or if I want to crack my clue token. I can also Boros Garrison to pick up the Crag, but I think that's probably going a little too slow. I think I'm probably... I mean, I don't think realistically, I don't know how I can win this game. I think I'm going to die in... I think I'm only going to get 1 more turn. So I'll almost certainly be dead before I get 2 more turns. I don't think there's any way I can deal my opponent enough damage here. Double Rift Bolt is pretty slow, so actually I do have an opportunity to draw another burn spell here. Okay. So I don't have lethal, I don't think. Let's assume they don't block at all. So I'll have 9. So this makes all of these 3, so that's 12. 12 damage, 15, and then I'll have 1 more mana left to sacrifice the munitions to be 16 damage. So I'm going to attack with everything because I'll just rally and then they'll kill their Alchemist if they block. And if they don't block, that's fine too. I think I'm going to rally no matter what. So if they don't block, I think I'm going to sacrifice the Synthesizer. Yeah, this is the block I expected. So if I sacrifice the synthesizer, I might get a better idea of whether or not I want to cast the rally this turn. It's possible I should have sacrificed the synthesizer right away and killed this epic here. That was probably a better plan. Well, let's do this. Let's see what I hit here. Okay. Seeker is good. So that was why I did this now, because now I don't want to now I don't want to rally. I'll play out another artifact to get some metalcraft going. Should this was a tiny mistake probably. I probably shouldn't have played out my Seeker before casting this lightning bolt. If they have a firebolt or fire blast, they might use it to kill my Seeker. Alright, so Rift Bolt's coming through. Gonna kill my Seeker probably, unless they have enough to kill me, which they probably have enough to kill me. Yep, they're going right to my face. They missed land drops, so I mean I can't imagine they don't have can't imagine they don't have lethal here. So I guess I'm hoping they've got like curse or something. Alright, I'm sure I'm dead here. Yeah, we had way too slow of a draw. I don't know if I could have made us go faster or not, but so we don't really have any sideboard cards here for this matchup. I don't really care about curse. You could tell right there that like curse was one of the only things I could draw that could make me live. So not going to bring in a card that hates that out. Yeah, I think we're just going to run it back. Try to have a little more aggressive draw. I feel like in the past, Boros had a pretty decent matchup against this deck, but there used to be a lot more sideboard cards for burn. Like, you'd have stuff like Lone Missionary and Circle of Protection Red. So, we don't have any of that stuff now. Okay, this hand is alright. I'm going to keep it, but it's a little slow. I guess I'm hoping to see some creatures out of them so I can burn them. Okay, Rift Bolt. Gonna play out the Sicker Wellspring pretty much no matter what here. So you can see why why I had concerns about our artifact count. Like I only have one right now, which is not great for this Galvanic Blast. So I'm hoping to see a Thermal Alchemist here. Unlike last game when I couldn't kill it, I'm kind of flush with removal here, so I'd like to see them tap out on turn 2 for a creature that just dies to bolt. Looks like that's not happening. They're getting really aggressive here. I think this draw is probably too slow as well. I kept it because it had some answers to creatures, plus I had some outs to if I drew Kodotha Rebirth, I could kill them pretty quickly. But could easily be dead this turn. Probably dead next turn if I'm not dead this turn. Okay, looks like I'm not quite dead. Gonna get in for 2. Fortunately, I'm pretty short here on white sources. I'm going to play out the Seeker. So if I get another turn, yeah, this was kind of my concern with running out the Great Furnace, was they might have Smash in their hand. So probably dead here. Dead to just Fire Blast. Dead to 2 burn spells, of course. Dead to an Epic here plus a burn spell. And they've got a couple draws at some of this stuff. They got a land. Okay. So I have no way to get Metalcraft here. So I'll just attack with both here. Guess I'll just attack with the Seeker. If the Seeker dies, I just have nothing anyway. So... And if the Seeker connects, I probably just win. I think I'm going to Galvanic Blast. I'm going to Bolt their face. Probably should have attacked with the Glint Hawk, but I kind of figured if I get my lifelink here, it doesn't even matter. I'm just going to win. So the question is, if they have Smash, what do I want to happen? I'm just going to play out this Glint Hawk. If they got another Smash, they can hit my Echo Wellspring and kill my Glint Hawk, but at least I draw a card. My other option was to play out a Thraben Inspector, but I didn't really want them to hit my clue either. And now I still have a blocker here. Okay, Synthesizer's a good draw. Fortunately, I don't have enough mana to instant speed twice here. Yep, I suppose I'll play that. Run out Thraben Inspector and another Thraben Inspector and get to attacking. So you can kind of see why I didn't attack with that Glint Hawk on that one turn. We'll see if it bites me or if it wins me the game. If I had attacked with the Glint Hawk, though, I probably would have played out a Thraben Inspector instead of the Glint Hawk, so maybe it didn't affect their clock. So I should have lethal next turn here. If they have another Smash, then my Galvanic Blast is turned off by cracking this clue. It's like my Galvanic Blast is back on. So if I attack with everything in Rally, they're super dead. If they don't block. Okay, that's 10. All right, we got him. But I don't think realistically we're going to get to like turn 7 or whatever and still be alive against Burn very often. I don't think there's any changes to be made, really. Nothing I can really do to play around those smashes. All right. Wish this was one of my life gain ones, but this is what it is. Guess I'm going to keep this here. So this is a tough call here. Do I run out my Thraben Inspector or do I run out the Lorehold Campus? Depends if I'm going to play the Garrison next turn or not. I think I got to run out the campus, because if they play a Thermal Alchemist, I need to Lightning Bolt them. Alright, let's see what my opponent's got. They do have a second land, and they do have the Thermal Alchemist. I'm going to bolt that Thermal Alchemist here. I think I'm going to play out the Thraben Inspector to save myself a damage here. Next turn I can play the Seeker and the Garrison. Okay, we've got a Rift Bolt, so I'm probably not going to play with the Seeker then. I'm probably going to play with the Skyfisher, pick up the Thraben Inspector. Because then I can get a second clue token. And I can double rebirth my tokens. Downside of this, I mean, I guess I don't care if they Rift Bolt my Skyfisher. I'd actually prefer that, I suppose. All right. See if we're dead. Rift Bolt to my face. It's possible I should have played out the Seeker just to eat up 3 damage this turn. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to play out all my stuff here. Keep playing out these Seekers early, but I just shouldn't, because there's no reason to get these Prowess triggers and waste my time. All right, let's get in for 2. And I might have lethal next turn, I'm not sure. I haven't done the counting. I might need to draw a burn spell for it. There's definitely something to be said about not running out my Thraben Inspector just to turn off their smashes. Okay, so I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt plus a Fire Blast, but anything else I'm probably going to win. Okay, they had to kill my Seeker. So I have no artifacts to rebirth. Let's see if I want to attack with everything. So if I attack with everything, the rally is plus 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I do not have lethal. Since I don't have lethal, I think I'm just going to attack. I think I just attack like that. I want to make sure I put them on a 2-turn clock no matter how they block. So what happens, so if they block 2 tokens and I rally here, and they'll take 7, and I'll have only 3 creatures left. Thing is, if I leave 2 blockers back, then it gets actually pretty hard for them to it gets pretty hard for them to kill me through the Windscarred Crag. Because then they would need double Fire Blast rather than just 1 burn spell plus Fire Blast. I'm just gonna attack with the goblins. I'm gonna cast Rally no matter what here. Slower Hold Campus is rough for me for sure. Still just going to cast the rally. This might have been too conservative. So if I draw a land, they're going to be dead, I think. So 4 each, 12. Yeah, so a land is lethal, or an untapped land is lethal, rather. Okay, I'm down to 2. Looks like they did not have a Fire Blast. That's probably lethal as well. Nope, not quite. Okay, so my attack last turn will probably cost me this match. Number of cards they could draw that don't kill me. Dang, I definitely threw that one away. There had to be some way that I could have won that one, but all right. Barely lost this one. Another long game. Definitely made some mistakes. So let's move on to the next one. All right, here we are for round number 2. We are on the play and close, but no cigar. Really need a second land. Gonna mulligan this one. Boros Garrison, not a land here. Gonna have to mulligan again. This one we can keep. I think I'm gonna get rid of the bolt and the mountain. Yeah. All right. I don't know what we're hoping to play against with this, but all right. Three of Inspector is a great draw. I was debating keeping the mountain instead, so I could run out Wellspring plus Glenhawk on turn 3. Oh, we're playing against this burn deck. That's cool. So we gotta get moving here. So if you didn't see my last video, this is the deck I played. This black-red Madness deck. It's like a Madness burn kind of hybrid here. Looks like we're gonna be all right. Fiery Temper. They're gonna burn my creatures or my face. Face. Face is the place. Bloodfell Caves. That's interesting. All right. Run out of Wellspring. They do have 2/2 haste flyers in their deck. So I could have left the Glinthawk back to prevent that. Wow. Faithless Looting with no madness. That's kind of crazy. Alright, it's Wellspring. Galvanic Blast my face, sure. Sure again. So hopefully they don't have triple burn spells in their hand, I guess. I think this might be a Thraben Inspector spot, so I can rally next turn, try to kill them. So I can put them down to 16. Next turn, I can hit them for another 4 down to 12, plus another 6. So if I draw... that's not enough. Even with a burn spell, it's not enough. So I guess I will Ichor Wellspring then. Alright. Their life gain was too strong. I couldn't quite burn them out. Yeah, and they were going to gain some life anyway. I think we're going to lose this one. I just have not really been getting very fast draws. I don't know if I'm just keeping... I mean, this one was a mulligan to 5, obviously, but All right, so I definitely want the dust to dusts. Relic, unfortunately, like, I think this maybe in the past would have worked against Madness, but I don't think it does. Now the discarded card goes to exile. I think it used to go to your graveyard and then trigger, but anyway. Then you gotta decide about the Gorilla Shamans, and I think I want those too, because they have a lot of blood tokens and stuff. I think I'm gonna take out the makeshift munitions, they're a little slow. And then beyond that, I'm not really sure. I think I'm going to cut 2 Thraben Inspectors. Those are also kind of slow, but I need to keep some of them. Tempted to cut a land. I'm going to cut this Lorehold Campus. Alright. Would I like to play first? Yes, I would. Oh, I think I got a mulligan this one also. Well, I'm going to keep this one. And I'm going to hope to get lucky on turn 2 here. Just going to play this. Probably should have mulliganed this one as well, but I didn't want to mulligan that many times. Wow. I'm so happy that they smashed that instead of one of my lands. Holy smokes. Dang, that would have been a nice one. Alright, I'm gonna run out the Seeker. Now if they smash, now they realize though that they can smash a land and just destroy me probably. Alright, Fiery Temper is probably gonna kill my Seeker. And alms to my face, of course. I don't know if I'm just playing it poorly or what, but this seems like a tough matchup. Maybe I didn't want all these dust to dusts. They don't even have 2 artifacts right now. I assume this Temper is going to hit my Seeker. So it would be kind of crazy to go face with that. Alright, Synthesizer. Hopefully it's a land. I do have to decide here if I want to pick up the Synthesizer, or I could pick up the Great Furnace, and then I could rebirth my Synthesizer. I'm going to pick up the Synthesizer, because I really want to hit a land. Oh, that sucks. Well. Searing Blaze. We're just getting murdered. Just no chance here. I need them to have all land. They don't have all land. Alright, I don't really want to run out the Synthesizer. I can't play much. I'm sure I'm dead here. There's just no way. I'm just going to die this turn, I'm sure, anyways. Alright. Yep. They have any burn spells at all, I'm dead. Well, it's a pretty bad draws this this match, but this seemed pretty lopsided. It never felt like I had a shot in either of these games. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, here we are for round number 3 against Snail Arg. We're on the play. And I think I am going to keep this off the power of Experimental Synthesizer. It's a little iffy, it's a little slow, but I'm going to keep it. Gonna lead off with this Crag. I'm gonna wait till turn 3 to play the Synthesizer. Man, the last round was brutal. I still can't tell if that's just a bad matchup or if I just had such bad draws that there was nothing I could do about it. Looks like a Bogle is happening. They went with Abundant Growth. Alright, the Raven Inspector. Campus. This is a pretty tough pre-board matchup, but sometimes we can just out-aggro them. Looks like I need to hit a Goldiltha Rebirth. There's not really a good reason to play this, I don't think. I'd rather just crack my Clue token. If they have any life gain, we're probably dead. I mean, we're just probably dead. If they have even a remotely reasonable draw here. Yep, that'll do it. This matchup is really horrible pre-board. It always has been. If we had drawn that last turn, we actually might have had a shot, but they're just going to gain too much life. If they don't have anything that significantly pumps power, we might be okay, but anything that costs 3 mana is going to kill us. Yeah. Good enough for me. Alright, so all we have is Leave No Trace. I think I'm going to cut the munitions again. And maybe a Thraben Inspector. We're trying to go fast. I'm going to cut a Wellspring. That's just kind of slow. Alright, let's go fast. So goal is to try to kill our opponent on turn 4. It's tough without Rebirth and Rally, but it is possible to do it if you get both of those. It's also possible if we get a fast Seeker down that we could race them. I'm going to keep this, but it's not super exciting. I'm going to lead off with the Crag. I'm going to play the Seeker out on turn 2 here, I think. That changes things. I'm still going to play out the Seeker, I think. The next turn I'm going to play the Inspector and the Goldiltha Rebirth. And then I'm going to try to do it to decide if I want to sacrifice a land or a Clue. So I'm hoping to draw a Rally here. Okay, tapped land. I'm not going to block, I don't think. This tells me they've got extra guys, so. Well, I'm going to sacrifice my land here. I've got lots of mana. I'm going to run out the Crag. So if they want to make that same attack this turn, I will block with a Goblin. But I'm guessing this guy's going to be bigger this turn. So I'm hoping they don't have any of the really good 3 mana enchantments. If all they have is 3 mana and like one single 3 mana enchantment, I can actually block and kill this scout with either of them, but looks like that's not what they have. Hoping for no ethereal armor, I suppose. It's just Rancor. Nope. perfect draw again, obviously. But we fight on. All right. Still hoping we can race them with the Seeker somehow. If they don't have any life gain. Can't beat like any other pump spells really, like any big pump spells. I think I could beat like a Rancor. That's about it. Guess I'll play out the campus. I'm not gonna block, so just get in there. So I'm at 16. Let's see if I'm dead. Can't really beat any of the 3-mana enchantments anymore. I could potentially beat Armadillo Cloak if I top deck. If I top deck the Leave No Trace, then I could kill all their enchantments. Ledgewalker I can beat. Slippery Bogle I can beat. Land I can beat. That's all stuff I can beat. All right. I guess I will Glinthawk. This gives them maybe a little more information than I want, but I want to get the trigger from that. So, depending on how they block, I do have lethal here. They have to block my Seeker to survive. Which they probably will. I don't really see why they wouldn't. And I'm still going to Galvanic Blast them just to gain the 1 extra life. Alright, opponent, what are you going to do? They're thinking. So, they know they only have to play around a Bolt effect. Alright, opponent. Make your choice. No? Alright, I'm going to pause the video until they come back. Okay, my opponent decided to double block here. So I'm going to bolt them just to gain 1 more life here. Alright, let's see what they get. So some things I can beat by blocking, like that one. Not quite enough. And we've got 3. Alright. Close one, and we didn't draw any of our Leave No Traces. I don't think I want to change anything here. Seemed fine to not have these. All right, let's do it. Game 3. Already on a pretty bad losing streak here, so hopefully we can pull this one out. I'm going to keep this, but it's just a little slow. I'm going to run this. Pretty tempted to run the synthesizer out turn 1 so I can rebirth on turn 2. With my opponent mulligan to 4. Now I'm really liking this hand. God, it kills me to lose that much value, but I really want to get attacking. Lost a Galvanic Blast. Lost a Bolt. But we got a pretty fast clock here. Okay, they're cycling. Land I don't think was their problem, though. So I can't quite put them on a 2-turn clock. So I think I'm going to run out a Wellspring here. Okay, Ledgewalker. Plus Ethereal Armor. All right. This is not going great because Ledgewalker, I assume, was what they were missing. And they probably have a bunch of enchantments. The Cartouche doesn't really do anything. That does. So I do have to decide if I want to block. I think I will. Seeker's a nice one. So I think I'm going to Skyfisher, Seeker. I think I'm going to bolt this token, actually. Bolt the token. Skyfisher. Seeker. The reason I blocked last turn is not a lot of guarantee that you're going to be able to block going forward. 20. I think I'll just take this, right? There's no reason to block here. I should have lethal. Probably have lethal even if I... Whatever, I'm not going to do the math and I'm not going to block. Going to 1. Alright, rally. Yeah, I just have super duper lethal. Just flash it back. I probably could have blocked. But it didn't matter. Alright, cool. On to the next one. Alright, here we are for round number 4, trying to salvage a 3-2 in this league. We got a pretty mediocre hand, no artifacts. I think I'm going to keep it anyway, though. We've got 8 pretty good artifact draws. Looks like we're playing against Burn again. Hopefully I don't throw away the match yet again. Got a pretty good hand against Burn at the moment. I'm just going to run out all these Seekers right in a row. Hoping they don't have a Thermal Alchemist because I don't have removal again. Ugh, this sucks. This is the card I really wanted them to play. The one game that we had removal, and they didn't play it, and then it keeps happening to me when I don't have any burn spells. So they get to kill our Seeker. Although if they somehow don't have a way to kill our Seeker, we can gain some life here. If they don't kill our Seeker, I'll go ahead and Inspector and Rebirth away the token. Lightning Bolt. Nope. Question is, do I just run out a Seeker and a Thraben Inspector instead? They didn't have a burn spell this turn. How likely are they to kill me next turn? Probably pretty likely. They had no land. But then how am I going to win? I like one of any spells I can cast, really? I think I'm going to risk it. Just play out the Seeker and the Inspector. This is probably greedy, but I also don't like really see a way I'm gonna win if I do this the other way anyway. Like if I just sacked my token, I guess I could win with a rally next turn if I top deck one, if I had played my Kuldotha Rebirth, but just don't really see many realistic ways that I'd be able to win. Skewer. So I'd just be gaining 3. So they're flooded on Fire Blasts. So all they need is anything they can cast this turn. Kind of looking like they did not draw anything they can cast this turn. All right. So we'll see what my opponent does here. I got a bunch of blockers on the ground here. So I guess my opponent's got to decide. Wow, that's an insane block. Why would they ever do this? Maybe something's going to happen that I'm... Why wouldn't the Epicure block instead of the Thermo Alchemist? Well, I definitely don't understand that, but I suppose that's all right. And try to put down a fast clock here. I assume I would have just been like the Thermo Alchemist blocks the Thraben Inspector and the Epicure blocks a Seeker. Okay, well I don't know what my opponent was doing. If they didn't have a way, like I'm not sure they had many outs anyway there, but that definitely didn't help them. Again, I don't really have anything I want to bring in, so just gonna submit. I do have a couple life gain spells. Got a decently fast clock with this. I think I am going to keep this. It's not amazing, but I've got an answer. So yeah, I've got an answer for Thermal Alchemist, and I've got the clock that I want. So let's see what my opponent does here. They're just bolting me again. Yeah, I guess I'll run up my Great Furnace. Obviously a little scary to do that against a Smash to Smithereens deck. Okay, Epicure's fine. So I think we'll go ahead and run out the Glenhawk and the Wellspring again. What are my other options? Like, I don't really need all the value necessarily. I think I'm just going to rebirth away this Wellspring right now. Oh yeah, we're getting really aggressive here. This also turns off their Smash to Smithereens. I guess this plays into Electrickery, but they really shouldn't have that in their deck, I wouldn't think. Okay, they're sacrificing a blood token, getting rid of an Epicure, looking for a land, presumably. Okay, they did find one. Yeah, I'm just going to rally here. I don't really see a way for them to kill me next turn, so... So they're at 2, even if they draw a land... I guess if they go a triple bolt plus Fire Blast, I might die. Needle Drop, not going to do it. We got him. Cool. So we beat Burn this time. Bit of a faster clock than we had the other games, although still just a... Let's turn 5 kill, so that's pretty quick. They stumble. I mean, I expect Burn to kill us on turn 5, maybe even turn 4, but if they stumble, it could definitely take them longer. So, cool. On to the final match. All right, here we are for the final round. Tried to salvage a 3-2. Playing against Ultra Nur 9000. Would I like to play first? Yes, I would. Man, I've been getting some horrible hands with this deck. I'm going to keep this. And I guess I'll get rid of the bolts. All right. Hand's pretty mediocre. But we could definitely have some quick starts against certain decks. Alright, Fairy's here. So if I draw a tapped red land, I'm going to play out the Inspector. Okay, that's exactly what happened. So we got a pretty decent draw here against Delver. This used to be the matchup that you always wanted to see with Boros. Got a lot worse when they added other colors. Okay. Gonna run out this Skyfisher. They're probably gonna bolt it, but that's fine. Skyfisher was a big reason why this deck was so good against Boros for so long. Or this deck was so good against Delver for so long. But when they're playing blue or black, they just kill it, and then that's that. But we're doing some decent grinding here. They're just going to keep attacking, I'm sure. So if they don't play anything, I'm just going to sack 2 clues. I could run my Seeker out and Galvanic Blast a Spellstutter Sprite, but I'd rather just sacrifice some clues. Okay, Brainstorm. Not too scared of that. Well, that's interesting. Makes me pretty tempted to kill this fairy, I suppose. Nah, maybe not. Fortunately, we couldn't make them waste their mana. They had stuff to do with it. Sacrificing the clues gets me further and further away from Metalcraft, but you don't really need Metalcraft against this deck most of the time. It's like they missed a land. Alright, let's go ahead and run out this Seeker. Gonna hold up red. If they want a spell stutter, I'll just kill it. Looks like that's not what they're gonna do. Play this Crag. Could have cracked my clue token, I suppose, but I should have time to do that later. Alright, Scred for the Seeker. This is their chance to get a hit in with a Ninja if they want. I don't mind getting hit once with a Ninja. I've got a lot of card advantage, so it's not really any big deal to me. I'll just kill it. Also got potentially some blockers for a Ninja. So I get to run out my synthesizer here. Let's go ahead and crack this clue. Do I care about that plains? Not really. I think I'd rather just play this Boros Garrison out. Alright, Augur Bolas. Another Scred. Kodotha Rebirth is an interesting one. So pretty confident they have a spell stutter. Question is, do I really care if they counter my Kodotha Rebirth? I'd say I don't care that much. Like, I'd rather resolve this synthesizer. But I can also kind of play around all that stuff by just sacrificing this for a 2-2. So I think I want to float red. Okay, we'll run out that Skyfisher. Get to Galvanic Blast their Sprite. Pick up an Inspector. Couldn't quite make that work. Second main, although I should have probably just attacked with both Inspectors before casting anything. Yep, scred my guy. It's fine. I'm probably gonna have to let them eat something with a spell stutter here. All right. Again, they get to hit us once. And then they don't really get to hit us again. So I'm going to cast this Thraben Inspector as bait for a spell stutter. They put 2 cards on top. Yeah. Let's see if they want to counter that. Looks like the answer is no. Well, then I'll Skyfisher here. Pick up the Inspector. I'm going to hold up double red. Just to put the fear in them. Glue. So I don't see a reason not to attack with both of these. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to trade either of them for a Fairy Seer. Okay. So I have to decide if I want to sacrifice this Ancient Den to make a Delta Rebirth. I think I will. Spell Pierce, okay. So Brainstorm. Presumably that's what they kept on top. If they attack with both, I'm actually going to block the Augur. They didn't attack with both, so happy to make that trade. I'm gonna crack this glue. Oh, I wonder if maybe they just didn't have counter spells last turn, but I'm assuming they do now. Just gonna hold my cards. Really can't afford to get the synthesizer spell stuttered. Okay, that's interesting. They did that after drawing a card with from their Brainstorm, so they have 2 cards that they really want. So I'd really like to find... I guess that one's okay. What I really want to find is an Ichor Wellspring. It'd be a really nice one. I was holding this Great Furnace just so I could have like more cards in my hand that I'm representing. Okay. So they probably have a ninja here, which means I'm going to have to kind of go for it next turn. No ninja. Okay. I'm assuming they have a spell stutter and a counter spell and then something else. If I had to guess what was in their hand, that's what I would guess. Icarus Spring's exactly what I want. Let's put that on top. Now that I've got double synthesizer, I think I'm going to run out the Kuldotha Rebirth first. Let's do the Glint Hawk first. I'm trying to figure out the thing I wanted to get countered the most. Chances are it's going to be both. But hopefully I don't lose all three. That's just about the worst possible. Well, it literally is the worst possible. Question is, do I want to get that into my graveyard? I think the answer is yes. Then now the answer has become no. I'd rather get this Glint Hawk down. See if they got another Spell Pierce for me. Scred. Alright. Alright, Preordain, let's see what they do. 2 on the bottom, and they conceded. Awesome. Alright, we ground them out. So this is where our blasts come in. I think that's it. So what do I want to take out? The rallies are probably kind of unnecessary. We're going to try to grind them out. And then the Seekers are probably the next worst. Trying to grind them out with card advantage, not race them. So I think it's just like that. It's possible I could cut some of these burn spells, but I don't think I want to. Maybe this is why you don't care about Pyroblast or Red Elemental Blast, because the Seekers just come out anyways when the blasts come in. Alright, we need one more win here to lock up a mediocre league instead of a terrible league. Sand looks pretty good. It's a little slow, but that's alright. Since we're playing against blue-red, it's going to be a lot slower than a mono-blue deck would have been anyways. So, do I want to run out a Thraben Inspector right away? I think I want to get red mana down. Alright, well I guess I gotta run out some artifact lands here. I'm gonna play the Seeker. Don't care if they counter it, don't care if they kill it. It's not very good, it's the reason I boarded a bunch of them out. Let's possible I should have run out the Great Furnace. So I think I'd prefer to have that in play for my synthesizer turn. But I wasn't going to play a synthesizer this turn, but now I think I'm going to. Now I'll just play out my Thraben Inspector. And then I'll Boros Garrison. All right. Successfully navigated around a spell stutter this turn. So my general strategy for playing against Delver, basically, or I keep calling it Delver, but there's no Delvers in these decks anymore, but these Fairies decks, you just want to make sure they never ever get value from their spell stutter sprites if you can help it. Last game I was able to just let them get a 2-for-1, and that was fine. So I'm going to attack here. I think I'm going to crack a clue here and just wait a turn. So I want to have triple red up on my experimental synthesizer turn. I want to play my synthesizer and have Pyroblast plus Galvanic Blast available. Because I suspect they're holding up Spell Stutter plus Hydroblast. Plus we knew about Spell Pierce from last game. Alright, let's get in with Thraben Inspector. Run out the Ichor Wellspring. More bait. Perfect. So I'm running out of synthesizer here. Question is, do I care that much about this? I think I'll just let that go. Thing is, if I spend some mana to counter that, then suddenly my synthesizer doesn't really do anything. All right, now I feel pretty good running this out. Blast. Sprite. Downside here is now it's a lot of stuff I can't cast, like this bolt. But we'll see. If I hit a red land here, I'll be able to play the bolt. Oh well, not the end of the world. See what my opponent's got here. They're already in a really tough spot. They don't have the card advantage to get ahead here. Awesome. Well, should have gone 4-1 in this league. I threw away this match against Burn. Definitely had this one and just lost it for myself. This one I got just absolutely murdered. This black-red Burn deck just killed me mercilessly. I'm not sure if it's that much worse of a matchup than the Burn matchup or what, but I also had some bad draws in that one. But finished off strong, got a 3-2, not too bad. I think that's it. That's all I have to say about this deck. It's one of the staples of the format. Pretty fun deck to play. You can grind through pretty much anybody, so I always like decks like this. So thank you guys for watching, and just remember, hit me with some comments if there's anything you want to see in the future, or if you have any recommendations for how to make my content better, I'm always open to suggestions. And I think that's it. I'll see you guys next time.